And I know that. I know that there is no way that they're not doing this intentionally. Okay, and I'll prove it. Okay, I will prove this to you. Okay, here we are. So yeah, no, they're doing this willfully. And I know that they actually do know how to govern. They do know how to clean this stuff up. It doesn't have to be this way. They know how to do it properly, and I know that because whenever Gavin Newsom's boss, the president of China, Xi Jinping, came to town with his People's Liberation Army bullshit, they did some stupid stuff. So this is from the California Senate Republicans, okay? This is California Senate Republicans posted this video admittedly a year ago, whenever this actually happened, but this is what he did, okay? So this is what proves to me that he does know how to do it properly.
Probably the most visible, vexing issue that defines so much of people's frustration and angst is the issue of homelessness. We're going to solve the problem of those that are out on the street.
We're going to solve the problem of homelessness while also putting forward every measure possible to incentivize more of it.
Streets that we define as homeless, and that's why we established this framework, what we call a 10-year plan to end chronic homelessness in San Francisco.
There's another urgent moral issue we must confront. That's this homelessness epidemic. We will provide stable funding to get sustainable results. We will reduce street homelessness quickly and...
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that he just says the same thing repeatedly every single year. Like, it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, functionally illiterate, half of them don't speak English. Yeah, it makes sense.
Mainly through emergency actions.
Emergency actions. Only taken when
folks
foreign
say,
leaders show
they're
up.
just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. Whenever your boss shows up, dude, Gavin Newsom said that he wishes things would be more like China. Like, he said that he idolizes the Chinese president, Xi Jinping. Chinese communist leader, Xi Jinping. It's almost like the anti-capitalist state here idolizes communism. You know, there are laws on the books that allows us to denaturalize and deport these motherfuckers. I'm just saying.
Because it's true. You know, obviously, anytime you put on an event, by definition, you know, you have people over your house, you're going to clean up the house.
I am the governor.
Yeah, can't clean up the house for the citizens and for the people that live in the house, but we can clean it up whenever people are coming to visit. That's fine. Yeah, that makes sense.
At the end of the day, we're all accountable at the end of the day to solving this thing.
No. First of all, you are taxing the dog shit out of your citizens, and you are misusing the funds to a wild degree. Okay? You are the one that's accountable. Don't tell me you don't have the funds to do it, because fuck you. Yes, you do.
In terms of the results, I'm not seeing it either.
Californians want results, not empty promises. Oh my God. See, this is what I'm talking about. Is there going to be an off-ramp for this? Because I think there is. So this is a video. This is a little bit of hope, okay? A little bit of hope for this dog water fucking state that is within the United States of America. The state that is fully communist, fully anti-capitalism. This state has far too much power, but there is some hope for it, okay? Let's let this ad play for a second. So this is Benny Johnson. He is interviewing RFK Jr.'s former running mate. I don't know who she is, but it says here that she announces a plan to enact voter ID in California. Okay? That will get rid of probably most of the Democrats, because like I said, they are just pandering to the illegal aliens. And if you have to present an ID in order to vote, it's going to be much harder for them to ballot harvest from a whole lot of illegal aliens. The fucking, this is so fitting. Yes. You can tell that this is AI, but that's okay. Benny,
Nicole, it's an honor to have you back. Forgive us for being late in getting to you today.
I forgive you.
I have a story to share with you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
The reason we were late to the stream this morning is I got a call from a well-known Democrat. And this well-known Democrat's like, hey, I can't believe we're like even having a conversation here, but like, listen, I want to lower the temperature. Yeah. And I'm sick of my side calling everyone Nazi and fascist. And I'm sorry that happened. And I'm sorry what happened to your friend.
Yeah.
And I like want to work with you to just have like a country where we can agree on most things and disagree on some things and like have a nice robust debate.
Whoa. Hold on, Benny. You can't say that you want to debate. They kill people for that now.
Like, I'm going to fight with you to like ensure that the dehumanization that's happening on the left of the right, that like ceases. He actually called this Democrat called out Gavin Newsom of all people.
Good.
Calling
Fuck that guy.
Stephen Miller a fascist.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole video on him too.
Or yesterday.
Full disclosure, I'm gonna do a whole video on Gavin Newsom too. I wanted to do one on California in particular because I'm gonna start like a series of like which states just suck, and California is just at the top of the list because that's just, you know, how the stats are right now. But I'm gonna do a separate video on Gavin Newsom specifically because he is just a fucking terrible person, and unfortunately, it's either gonna be him or AOC in terms of the 2028 Democratic nominee for the presidency. I don't think either one of them have a hope in hell against J.D. Vance, but it's unfortunately that's just the people in the Democratic Party that have the most political clout at this point. So I'm gonna do a whole video on him too.
And I was like, man, well, that is a incredibly uplifting thing that has happened. And sort of in the vein of like what Nicole and RFK Jr. and Tulsi have been doing, actually. Trying to like reduce the pressure cooker here. So
yeah. Anyway. Well, I'm happy to hear that. I just have to say thanks to Brad McCraw. I'm just going to go back a little bit because I thought that was Susie Wiles orchestrating that moment with President Trump. And since Charlie passed, I've realized it's really Charlie and his team that have orchestrated all of this, connected with people and doing the...
Yeah, no, this has absolutely been a turning point for this country. And I think that it was very appropriately named.
Things and probably even, influencing that call from this Democrat leader that wants to tone things down. Charlie is so alive in this moment right now and has unveiled so much about the last year and a half of my life that I didn't even know about.
Yes.
Yeah, no, this is something that I covered in my first stream ever, but yeah, Charlie Kirk's assassination was like the biggest reason why I'm doing this right now, because I think that we need to call out these retards, and I think that we need to start shaming them in society again, because until it is not acceptable for them to act this way, they're going to do it. So you can have as much of the legal barriers as you want, but until general society starts ostracizing these people again, they're going to continue to act this way because they're going to think that it's okay. And I am doing my best to change that.
And you were the first one, if I'm remembering correctly, you were the first one who went out on a podcast and said, actually, it might be the time to do this. It's live on screen right now. Again, it's Things of Legend.
Yeah.
And, maybe perhaps you could tell me from your perspective, since you were RFK Jr.'s running mate, like, how did this all come down?
So that was not planned. I didn't get an official sign off from the campaign to go out and have that conversation. I did talk to Bobby in advance and say, hey, I'm going to try to provide some cover and start to subtly notify people this might be coming down the pike. I did not expect that podcast I did to go as viral as it did. It went really viral. It went really viral. And I got a little bit of flack for it from the powers within the campaign. But in the end, I think it was the right thing to do because it notified groups like Charlie what was coming.
Yeah,
and
girl boss.
That we were coming. And it was like a whole movement of people that was coming towards the movement Charlie had so beautifully built. And so in the end, it all worked out, and none of this was scripted. None of this was planned. And there were definitely high moments of tension and friction going into it, tons of unknowns, so much fear that, of potentially getting this wrong. And now I realize Brad was in the background with Charlie, making sure this was going to go great. It was going to be a magnanimous history-making moment. And when I threw out those things, it really just was off the cuff.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but the Trump administration is not made up of a bunch of different Republicans, right? There's a lot of people in very high levels of the Trump administration that were former Democrats or even like current independents or Democrats. I'm just saying, like it's the Democrats that went so far off the deep end.
And it worked out. Thank God for that.
Like MAGA is full of a whole lot of former liberals.
Charlie, thank this movement, thank all of the Maha supporters for having faith. Thanks
Make
for
America
MAGA
healthy
for
again. Hell
welcoming
yeah.
us in.
Ban Tylenol.
And, you know, thank you so much to Charlie's Life and Legacy and Erica Kirk for this moment as well. Her strength
Send all
is
the
carrying all
Tylenol
of
to
us
China.
forward.
Can you please talk about President Trump, who, in noting the political successes of Charlie Kirk, which are many, but Trump only seized really one. Trump, he could have gone down a list of like all the things Charlie did, but instead he's like, you ever heard of Maha? Like Charlie Kirk put me and RFK Jr. together, and Trump like saw that as like the sort of iconoclast moment of Charlie, and it's really neat because you were like central to that. It's really very cool.
I don't, you know, there was so much faith that went into each of these moments. And what President Trump did last week in his announcement for autism is what all of the Maha moms have been waiting for.
This is what I was just talking about, right? Like they came out and they said that Tylenol is linked to pregnant women taking Tylenol prenatal is linked to higher is linked to a higher percentage of autism, and I think ADHD as well. Now, I know a lot of women took this as an attack on them, as though they were like hurting their babies or something like that, and all they were doing was just following their doctor's recommendations and stuff. And you know, nobody is blaming the women at all for this, like at all. Like they're not even really blaming the doctors, because the doctors were just doing what they thought was right. They're blaming the medical communities that knew about this and then intentionally withheld the information. That's what they're blaming, and they're not going after women, but the Democrats are doing whatever they can to make it seem like they are. RFK Jr. Doing his best to try and make America healthy again by getting rid of all the unnecessary preservatives, getting rid of all of the like plastics, getting rid of the things that cause these mental health issues that California does its best to try and tax people and charge people for having, is an objectively good thing.
Or is that boldness and courage of truth, which really is a cultural thing, I'm realizing. And you opened by saying you're stuck in California where the culture is so backwards. And it is very backwards here because it's a culture of fear, compliance, and just go along to get along. And we can't continue to live like that because we are suffering. Our children are suffering because of that culture. And I'm going to say something that's very unpopular. I am the child of an immigrant, and we have a situation right now in California where we have a lot of immigrants that are just staying silent out of fear because they come from countries where that's how you survive. You die if you speak up in some of these countries. My mom's from communist China.
Well, look, I mean, you can speak English, so you're already better than half of them, you know?
Died if you spoke up. Millions of people
That's true.
died.
They disappear you.
And we're in California now where we really have to look ourselves in the mirror as children of immigrants. And we have to remember the preciousness of this country that is built on people like Charlie. People like Charlie who, in the face of tyranny, in the face of lies, in the face of corruption, will speak the truth, knowing that there is a risk in doing so, but knowing that we will not survive as a nation unless we do so. And Maha is that now in the health world because there's corruption.
No, I think the era of talking is over. I think debate is over, if I'm being honest with you. Like, they're proving that day after day. We need to just start arresting these people. Fuck them. Not for having a difference of political opinion, but for being fucking violent and causing violence and advocating for violence and paying for violence. We need to start arresting these fucking people.
In tyranny, and we were speaking up.
You want to protest, fine, but that's all you're allowed to do. Protest. Fuck you.
Oh, that's such a beautiful answer, Nicole. It's just
throwing bricks at buildings, particularly in California, is not a good thing.
So impactful. There are two places I want to go, and you know, choose your own adventure. But I guess why don't we start with Maha, and then we'll jump over to California. So can you give me, because again, you and RFK, I just don't think anyone ever planned. I saw all the haters online. It'll never happen. The moment you said that on the podcast, oh, it'll never happen. Give me a break. She didn't know what she's talking about. Okay, you had so much hate from right and left. And then Trump and RFK Jr., they unite on stage. And you go out and you start talking and vision casting for Maha. And everyone's like, Trump's going to betray RFK. He'll never get HHS. Give me a break, right? Like, are you kidding me? Right? It was all a joke. No, it wasn't. And RFK is actually in there delivering. We track all this data, Nicole.
Yep. President Donald Trump is a man of his word. All those things that say, is this what you voted for? Yes, yes. He is doing exactly what he promised to do, and we all love him for it.
Delivering the number one most viral moment of any of any of the Senate's confirmation hearings was RFK calling out Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren for their big pharma donations. Yeah. That was the number one. That was the single most viewed event of any of the confirmation hearings. Was RFK going scorched earth, ripping the mask off, ripping the bark off those two. Is beautiful. And then, of course, there's been a lot of, like, so many successes, it's hard to really enumerate all of them. So there's a long question, but I guess give me your redux on how Maha has been achieving, how it's been going.
Yeah, let's do it.
You must be very happy.
I can't be happier. I don't know if you heard, but Trump spoke off the cuff. And as you well pointed out earlier, you can't script Donald Trump. Donald Trump feels the moment. He has this killer intuition about the moment and what and bringing forward these things that are controversial. And is it the right time? Is my base with me? And so for him to go off script at that press conference last week and say, I'm just going to talk about vaccines. You all talk about Tylenol. That's good, well published, well understood by the science. But now's the time to talk about vaccines. And now's the time to show that I, as the president of the most powerful nation in the country, am behind Bobby Kennedy. And this is an unshakable bond. And he cemented that in that moment. And I believe that
if there was any kind of tension between the two of them, I think Charlie's death got rid of all of it, right? I think that's really what cemented their bond. They're both doing this for him, and people are underestimating the impact that Charlie Kirk's death is going to have on the political situation here in America.
Base was a little nervous in the first 6 months. They wanted more quickly. The base of Maha is some of the most well-educated scientists that have been censored for well over a decade, that have been dedicating their entire lives, their livelihoods. They have lost their licenses. They have lost everything.
Yeah, all the crap that we're finding out right now, none of this is new information. It's just finally being able to be heard in the public sphere.
I mean, Jimmy Kimmel's out there whining about being taken off air for a dismal show with terrible ratings. Talk about these doctors. These doctors are still getting fired. They're still
whining about being taken off air, and then he was back in like 3 days.
Being censored. They are going into horrendous debt to speak the truth. The amount of tyranny in the medical world is through the roof.
So
and for the first time, since the coming together of Bobby and Trump last year, but there was a little dying off of the Maha movement. People are getting frustrated. Even myself, I was looking around. I was like, we have to address this in the private sector. So that's where I've been the last 6 months, is privately funding research that I was worried that maybe wouldn't make it through this administration. But last week it was kind of like, I could exhale a little bit.
Do you view that as the biggest accomplishment? I know it's like a tough question, but what is like since you were so critical to this movement being formed, what is your favorite accomplishment, if you may?
We're not even a year in, but Trump's tweet where he
yeah, that's crazy to think about, isn't it? Like we're not even a year into Trump's presidency, and so much has happened already. Like we're only in October of the first year. Like I cannot wait to see what the things that he is doing ends up turning out for our country. I am so excited for the future. Like look, I'm not a political analyst. I am not a financial advisor of any kind. But the new policies that the federal government is pushing I really think incentivize investment in the American economy. And listen, put your money in the American economy right now. Do it. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Do it. Do it.
Outlines. We're going to separate the MMR into different shots. I've been calling for this for years now, and doctors have been calling for this. And the moms who are in the know, who get their vaccines from Europe or Japan, they're all in the know. I mean, we're behind America because of our corruption in media and our corruption in the healthcare sector and our doctors being corrupted and getting paid off for giving us substandard vaccines. The American people are so far behind, for example, Japan, which has already separated out the MMR. So everything that's being done is, it's past due by.
Yeah, dude, look. All right. I'm an American supremacist, unapologetically, don't care at all. But Japan is absolutely winning in terms of technology. Man, have you seen, they have car vending machines. Like they have vending machines that will make you a pizza. I'm just saying, okay, they are a step ahead in the future.
Probably a generation, and we're just catching up to what the people in the know have already been practicing, which is a safer vaccine schedule. I think that's huge, and this administration, the left is like, this is so radical. It is the most conservative, kind of slow moving rollout of the obvious. But we're so just happy to see it, because it just gives us faith that there might actually be a path out of this entrenched corruption.
I just wanted to give you a moment to sound off, because obviously you care so much about the welfare of children. You care.
Listen, when Pandora opened the box that Zeus gave her, it let out all of the evils of the world. But when she looked back in the box, there was still one thing: hope. You can't get rid of hope.
I care so much about the future of children in this country. This is where I got white pilled on Maha. And my wife's obviously a nurse, and she cares about this stuff a lot. But I saw it in real time. My kids went out for ice cream, and they ate this they ate this neon ice cream, a Cookie Monster, neon, all this chemical blue and 40.
Yeah, why does?
Did you guys see the videos going around on TikTok and stuff like that, where the International Delight coffee creamer, the dairy creamer, was just this rubbery weird substance? It wasn't even liquid anymore. I don't know. Weird.
That blue tastes better. I don't
know. It tastes like petroleum to me, but whatever. And my kids went berserker mode. They actually it was like their brain chemistry was changing.
Yeah.
They were real that stuff really affected them. And we run a pretty clean operation in my household, and all natural. And I'm thinking about these kids that are pumped full of these food dyes and these toxins, and I'm the move that's been made to everything from taking the additives out of Skittles to these massive corporations saying we're not going to be doing this anymore, we're not going to be adding these food dyes, something that's already happened around the world, but we are somehow so behind it. Americans. It meant a lot to me as a parent, man, as somebody who doesn't consider myself.
Well, it's pretty simple. As soon as you take the food dyes out, things are less colorful, and Americans like colors. We don't care whether or not they can read or write or speak English, but we like to see the colors.
An expert on this stuff, but has seen the real world effect on my own children.
Oh, there's a real world effect going on everywhere. There's a frozen tallow French fry company that my fiance, soon to be husband, invested in that's doing 15x. There's a new mac and cheese, box mac and cheese company that's going to be using raw dairy. This is really exciting. We're
gonna be awesome.
This is the stuff that matters, is
yes.
being able to go to your kitchen and grab that box.
It's almost like you'd have to be a retard to be against any of these policies.
Box of mac and cheese and know that you're not poisoning your kids.
Yes.
It's low. This is the obvious standard, but we're coming from such a low standard of excellence in terms of nutrition in the United States that there's so much economic opportunity on the other side of this too. So it's just excitement across the board.
Could you could you just really quickly vision cast for where you want it to go? Where would you like to see us in after 4 years of RFK Jr. as HHS Secretary?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank.
I want to see the obesity rate and the rate of mental illness be cut in half by the time of this presidency's conclusion. By the time of J.D. Vance's inauguration day, I want to see both of those things cut in half.
The Kirk family and Charlie Kirk again, because where I want this to go is I want that energy to be the energy that continues to evolve us as a team. None of this would be possible unless we were working together as a team, because that kind of truth-telling and courage allows us to truth tell and be courageous when we're up against these massive roadblocks every single day. These vaccine mandates really is what I think is next, is tackling those. You know, California has broken off from the federal government, wants to start its own California HH.
How crazy is it where we're at a point right now in our country where the people that identify themselves as progressive are pushing directly regressive policies and like regulations? Like they want us to devolve, right? They want us to go back to a time where there's actual segregation. I mean, the Democrats are pushing for black-only dormitories and black-only bathrooms. Okay, for real. They're pissed off that we're getting rid of their slaves again with the illegal immigration thing. So it's crazy that we're at a point now where the progressives are pushing for regressive policies, and the Republican conservatives are pushing for the progressive policies that actually push us toward a better future for our country. It's a wild time right now, man.
HS. And there's, I think the majority of Californians are terrified of that. And I'm talking outside of my own circle. I mean, this is, I'm crossing the chasm. It's very easy for me to hear what the other side is saying. And the other side doesn't even like that. There's constitutionalists that are like, this is unconstitutional. What does this even mean? People want freedom. They don't want this medical tyranny, and California is going to have a reckoning that I think we need the team to show up for. I want us to figure.
Well, another thing is your medical bills are going to decrease as time goes on. Like they won't be charging you as much anymore because previously health insurance companies and doctors and like pharmaceutical companies in general have been able to charge extra and just more because they know they'll be able to get it of the American consumer. But Trump just signed like an executive order that forces these companies to charge the American consumer whatever they charge the least amount. So your medical bills are actually going to go down. Even if they kick a lot of people that don't deserve Social Security off of it.
Figure out how to win this battle.
So that whole fear-mongering thing that you're seeing the Democrats do, where it's going to cost 20 million Americans or health insurance and health coverage is going to go up. And it's like, listen, no, it's not. Fuck you.
The right way, the sustainable way, the way that really does bring everybody along with.
If you are not currently a burden to society, your life is going to get better.
Us, and that was the legacy of Charlie Kirk. Is
flat out.
He wanted to win the right way, and he did, and he showed us what it looks like.
Yeah, Republican.
So winning in the right way is something that's fascinating happening in California. So we've gone. So we've taken. Let's go from
all 7 swing states
national to where you live in California. I know you're like such a. You love your home state.
Polls. Okay, cool.
It is the crown jewel of America. It sucks saying that from Florida because I really like Florida. But like, there's the natural gifts of California, the beauty of it. I mean, it really is like the Gold Coast. It is quite the paradise, and it's been just utterly destroyed. And everyone knows this. It's been just decimated. There's been a purge of the voter rolls. There's been some cleaning up from the federal level forced upon California, and there seems to be like potentially like a writing of the tables in the state. Can you give us kind of like an over under on saving California? I know this is a passion project for you.
Yeah, so a few things to note here. Thank you for sharing this poll for governor. Governor's one piece of it. The thing that I'm most excited about.
Wait, is Newsom not running again? I don't see him in this. Is he actually going to be running for president? Oh man.
Out and
Ooh,
I had that
okay, I better
failed
get this
Karen
video
Bass
out, yeah.
recall when Rick Caruso came out against it. It kind of, the whole thing just imploded because we weren't expecting Rick Caruso to come out against the recall. And so there's definitely something going on there. I think Rick
the recalling
Caruso
of Gavin Newsom,
is very deep, trying to negotiate something with the Democratic Party right now. So we might see a surprise in the governor poll and, over the next 5 months there. I don't want to call it yet, but I know there's something going on with Rick Caruso and the Democratic Party.
If it's a Democrat at all, California's just continued to be fucked. Like, if there's any hope at all to save California, there has to be a Republican governor. Just period.
So, the recall failed. I had put in quite a bit of money into that. I helped get the team going. And so when that failed, I'm like, okay, well, now what is our next big move here? Because initially it was let's recall, let's get the communists out of LA. There's enough will to do that, and then that's going to snowball into us getting the communists out of the governor's office.
I told you, these people are actual fucking communist retards. Like, just for real. All we need to do is start enforcing the laws, and we'll be able to get rid of all of these people, citizen or not.
And these are self-professed Marxists. And we just have been through this before in the 70s
Translation, retards.
and the 60s. We said the Marxists shall not have the Democratic Party, and that's when the Kennedys came in and saved us from that. So we're kind of in a similar situation.
And what happened to those guys? Kennedys come in and save the Democratic Party, and they all die.
Situation right now. And where I'm putting...
It's almost like the Democrats are not foreign at all to assassinating their political enemies. It's almost like they've been doing it for the last 60 years. It's weird.
My efforts is on the voter ID initiative. We do know that there's an enormous number of undocumented individuals that are casting votes in our California election. That's a problem. Especially when you know that behind that are Mexican cartels that are getting paid and they're kind of working with the California government to ensure this endless amount of migration.
That's why they hate Trump so much. That's why they were burning down LA in protest of Trump getting rid of illegal aliens. I've said it before, and I will say this again. To date, Trump has not deported a single U.S. citizen. Not one, accident or otherwise. I'm just saying. I did another thing that I say often, and I will say again, is you can either be right-handed or you can be wrong-handed. And now it seems that you can either be on the right side of the political aisle or you can be on the wrong side of the political aisle. Listen, if one of these Republicans does not win the governorship, and let's be honest, they're probably not going to, California is just fucked. No amount of requiring voter ID is going to help them. The only thing that might help them is the fact that the majority of their votes were probably coming from illegal aliens. And if we get rid of enough of them, they won't have the votes. People just won't vote for them.
Undocumented migration. So
also, California is just going to lose congressional seats because they can't count them in the census anymore. So they won't have as much people. So they won't be able to account for 50 fucking seats.
So voter ID is where I'm going to be focused. I think this is going to be a really important one. 70% of Californians want it. We're going to get it on the ballot. There's a signature requirement. Luckily, I know a little bit about that. And I think we're going to be very successful.
Okay. So how many signatures are required to get
Girl boss,
a voter ID
baby.
in California?
I think we've got to do about 1 million just to make sure we clear the requirement.
What about us? We were just able to register thousands of young voters at a game this weekend at Penn State. We're able to have thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands at Turning Point events. We should do a big event, right? You should bring in Scott Pressler.
That's another thing. That's the reason the Democrats fucking killed Charlie Kirk, because he was taking away a huge majority of their base. Like most Democrats are elected by suburban housewives and college kids, and the fact that we keep going and taking their college voters away really, really pisses them off.
We should
do it, Benny. Come on over to California.
We should do like a huge event, and we can like organize in like a
Yeah.
smart area, right? I don't know if it's Huntington Beach
It has
or
to
if
be a
it's
smart
somewhere up
area
north.
because-
But organize in a smart area and get signatures. Like get a bunch of Californians, bring in like Don and Eric, and I'll come over and I'll hype it like crazy and do like a massive event. Have Scott Pressler out there registering voters, right? And like, and bring in like and have Steve Hilton and yourself, of course, at like headline and keynote, and then we can use that as an opportunity to get signatures, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Let's do it. We're going to start signature collection, I believe, within the next 4 or 5 months. But, you know, I'll be posting about it on my X.
Look, if we can save California, I'm here for it. But I just don't have the hope that this lady does. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Benny, let's talk. Let's make this happen.
Totally. Bringing JD, bringing people who like have like good, strong connections to California. I was born in California, right? Like, you know. Yeah, so like I hate to see it. You know, I hate to see what's happening. I was raised in Iowa. My parents moved quickly after the Rodney King riots in L.A., something that seems to happen every couple of years. L.A. just burns to the ground. But they were like, we're not gonna raise our kids right in a city with sectarian violence that's like on fire, and so they fled. They fled to Iowa.
Parents did a good job.
About the opposite of the literal polar opposite of California. But anyway, the point is that like every American's heart should be in this beautiful state, this state filled with God's wonders, and we should all want to save California.
Yeah.
So that'd be great. I would love
a very large economy, and it's very powerful, and it's very powerful in culture setting. And if you can get Californians to show up and be courageous and speak freely, and not, you know, I mean, people are concerned about losing their jobs. People are concerned about their kids getting kicked out of schools.
Yeah, no, listen, California has the 5th largest economy on the planet. If it was an independent nation, it would have the 5th largest economy on the fucking planet. Like, that's just how it is. Okay, and the fact that Hollywood is also in California just speaks to its cultural significance. Okay, the amount of people that act a certain way just because they've seen enough movies, the amount of people that act a certain way just because they've listened to enough music that idolizes that specific type of degenerate fucking activity is much more powerful than people think that it is. Like, California is deliberately destroying society as much as it fucking can. And they know how to fix it. They just don't, because they hate capitalism and they hate Trump. They're willing to let so many people die and live in poverty just so they can grandstand about trans rights. Think about that for a second.
And people are desperate. People are and Steve Hilton will tell you this. He's touring the country.
How many people in the Democratic Party, in California or otherwise, how many people in the Democratic Party are actively fighting for the rights of non-citizens, actively fighting for the rights of national sovereignty for other countries, and not fighting for that here? Think about it.
The state right now, and he said people are just barely getting by here, just emotionally, spiritually, physically. It's a really tough place right now, and we have to remind people it doesn't have to be that way.
Let's do it. Let's bring in the owner of In-N-Out Burger. You know, let's hit him right in the heart. You know, in California, let's do it.
Everybody loves In-N-Out here.
That's right. Let's hit him right in the heart, right? And she's based. Okay, she's based.
Very cool.
Let's do that. Don't tell RFK that we'll be bringing in fast food, please. But yeah, totally. Like we do like a big, and we can get the first.
Oh, he's fine as long as it's McDonald's.
100,000 signatures, boom, in one day.
We
can
scare the daylights out of them.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay,
Amazing.
I'm in.
When is this? So like early 2026.
Yep, early 2026.
Okay,
it's go time.
Great. Plan on it. All right, fantastic.
I hope they can do it.
I love doing it. I was going to call you afterwards and like chat with you about this, but let's just do it.
Why not do it on air?
Yeah, why not?
Yep. Why not do it live on the stream? Okay. Very exciting. Thank you, Nicole. It is so encouraging. It is so encouraging to talk with you. It's so wonderful. I'll leave you with the final word, given the fact that you just brought up change in California. Our friend is Stephen Miller. He's a really decent homie. He's a good guy. He has it in his heart.
He's a decent homie. He's a good dude. All right. He's my N-word.
To like just protect his country and protect his children, his beautiful family. And the governor keeps posting,
He's a
like doing the
decent
same
homie.
thing that they were doing to Charlie, right? And like
Yeah.
Stephen Miller even
is a
commented, "Why do you think they're
fascist?"
posting this?
Whatever.
Like he's a fascist, he's a fascist." And they keep tripling and doubling down. Everyone knows what they're doing here, right? What's your comment on this? What's your take on it?
So there's the Gavin Newsom, and then there's the machine behind Gavin Newsom, and you got to see a little bit of the human Gavin Newsom.
Also, I responded to these messages too on X. You should definitely follow me at real_Sestel. Just saying.
What's left of him when he spoke with Charlie
Also, definitely subscribe on YouTube and follow me on Rumble if you hate YouTube. I'm everywhere. You should join me.
Kirk, and he
It's a cool community. I'm a good guy. I talk to myself a lot, and that's fine. I am good company.
said, "Yeah, I don't actually think women should, or men should play in women's sports." And the left went insane because the machine does not want Newsom to say these things. So we got to pray for Newsom. We got to pray for what's left of Newsom's soul, because Newsom,
He has no soul.
the human
He has gone to the dark side.
being, or what he was or could have been, is not this. This is the machine, and this is a mark.
Think the devil had horns, so did I. But he don't, his hair is combed, and he wears a suit and tie. Oh, a smile, so I shall catch you by surprise.
Marxist machine, and at the heart of that Marxist machine is it's a darkness that's discussed in the Bible. It is a biblical kind of darkness.
Yeah, no, it's definitely good
And
versus
we got to
evil
pray
here,
for
man,
him
real.
to break free of this, because the last thing Satan wants is for
And you do not have to be a Christian to realize that. I am just saying, like, good versus evil is not a Christian thing.
his imps to break free, but it takes courage to break free. I want to believe in the spirit of his spirit to break free of this. This is BS. This is dangerous. This is evil.
Yes.
And this is a call for the faction to assassinate Stephen Miller. There's no doubt in my mind that's what this
Yep.
is.
Objectively,
this needs to
objectively
end
true things. Yes.
Now.
Wow. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Precisely what a household name Democrat who called me this morning, trying to be polite and
No way.
want to like
no way he uses a Star Wars meme. No way. He's gone to the dark side. Oh man. Oh, I mean, I knew it. Listen. I promise you, I did not watch this prior.
work, do our best, like to lower the temperature. But this is exactly what they said. Like we have to stop calling everyone Hitler. Not only is that like kind of a not only do you reduce like the terminology
It's
there,
true.
right?
Hey, look, it's only a matter of time before they start calling Trump Palpatine, okay? But they have to move past Hitler at some point. It's just not working anymore. They got to come up with something new. It's going to be Palpatine. You watch.
Like the crimes against humanity by like calling everything Hitler, everything's Hitler. But like you also reduce people to inhuman, and you dehumanize them, and that's exactly what's going on. You're exactly right. Well, my producers love Star Wars and say he's more machine than man now. You pulled an Obi-Wan Kenobi quote. It was perfect about Gavin Newsom. This is what Obi-Wan Kenobi said about Darth Vader. Yeah. So you're right. Although
She did not know that at all. She's pretending to, but she did not know it.
we don't liken Darth Vader, Gavin Newsom to Darth Vader. We liken him to a Batman villain. I think he looks a lot. He feels a lot more like a Batman villain.
Yeah, but none of the cool ones.
Thank you, Nicole. Again,
Thank you, Benny.
it is so encouraging to talk with you. Everybody follow Nicole. Everybody follow Nicole here, and you'll be able to catch us on stage in the biggest political rally California has ever seen.
Definitely follow her. Definitely subscribe to Benny Johnson on YouTube. Yeah, they're both cool.
And we will.
Yeah. So, oh boy, that is the dumpster fire that is California. They are doing this willfully. You will not be able to convince me otherwise. They are absolutely evil people. This is not just a Gavin Newsom issue. This is an entire Democratic Party issue. And you can't convince me that they're not doing this willfully just to either spite Trump or just because they hate the American country or because they hate the citizens in general. I don't know, but it's absolutely evil. They know how to do it properly, and they're intentionally not doing it because they don't like this country. They fight for foreign nations, they fight for foreign citizens, and they don't fight for you. That is why there's a mass exodus of businesses and people in California. That is why nobody wants to live there anymore, and that is why these retards keep getting elected. Okay, California has far too much power for the fact that they're nearly 30% of the people that are there are illiterate. And half of the migrants that are there don't speak English at all. From ages 5 up, half of them don't speak English. Let that sink in. That is why these people keep getting elected. That is why running on more taxes, on greater taxation, is oftentimes a good thing when you're running in California. That is crazy. That's why Republicans don't win. They don't want to tax you, okay? Call me crazy, but I'm a simple man, okay? I want the government to stay the fuck out of my life. I want to keep the money that I earn at my job. And I want pedophiles in the wood chipper. California is currently on the losing side of all of those issues. Oh, man. All right, well, that's California being a dumpster fire. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it. Definitely follow me on YouTube at Cestal. Follow me on Rumble if you don't like YouTube, and follow me on YouTube if you don't like Rumble. You know what I'm saying? I'm everywhere. Definitely follow me on X for the most based opinions on the internet. Appreciate it. See you guys later. Bye.